This was a wire-to-wire game, but despite an interesting evaluation of the referee decisions today, Jordan Poole drops a new playoff career high of 31 points to lead the Warriors to a last-second victory. Losing Draymond Green to a flagrant 2 was rough, but I want to show you guys how the Dubs were able to execute in the second half without their floor general. Let's get into it. Nursing a small lead, the Grizzlies chose to hedge on-ball screens involving Steph Curry to allow the primary defender in Dillon Brooks to fight through screens. Here Brooks recovers well, but Looney sets a second screen and gets the favorable switch on Tillman. Curry has just enough daylight to launch this step-back long 2. Steph continues to get hot as Looney gives a handoff screen with Steph's defender trailing and his own man in Tillman moving up from a drop coverage to prevent the shot. Steph knows this and counters it by stepping back for another mid-range as Bane is slow with his recovery and contest. Here's a defensive breakdown by the Grizzlies. Thompson gets dribble penetration past Bane, forcing Jaren Jackson to rotate up. Melton has the next rotation down to help on Looney, and this becomes John Morant's final zone rotation for 2 outside shooters. Bane makes the mistake of also coming down to help instead of picking up Jordan Poole, but this lack of effort by Morant to not even close out and contest the shot has been a hot topic on his defensive capabilities. Jordan Poole knocks down this wide open 3. After Jaren Jackson Jr. becomes Dirk Nowitzki and drained like 3 threes in a row, here you can see Poole point for the on-ball screen and the Grizzlies fail to communicate, allowing dribble penetration, and now you have 3 guys on Steph and Curry. Easy pick and pop as Bane helps one pass away, leaving Jordan Poole open for another catch and shoot 3 and he knocks it down. This is the Warriors' classic counter to a big man dropping on a Warriors big at the perimeter. Here Bane is top blocking Clay, not allowing a handoff screen, and to encourage the backdoor towards Jaren Jackson Jr., and the instant counter to this is to reverse the ball and re-screen. Looney does exactly that with the dribble handoff, and Jackson Jr. is too low in drop defense. Melton cannot fight over the screen in time, and Curry gets a wide open look and hits it. Jordan Poole has developed his shot-making ability so much this year, and that includes making bailout shots with the shot clock winding down. Clay tries to break down the Memphis defense, but unfortunately you have Clark helping one pass away off of a shooter in Poole. Porter Jr. makes a brilliant decision to set a flare screen on Clark, and Clay hits him with a catch and shoot with 2 Grizzlies closing out. This is just better offense as Poole nails an insane contested 30-footer. In clutch time, we get a go-to pick and roll, bringing a Memphis big to defend Steph. Looney sets a simple on-ball screen to get Brooks off Curry, and he abuses a slower Jackson Jr. for a step-back 3-ball. This is another example of Ja falling asleep on defense. After a made bucket, Wiggins comes for the high pick, and the Grizzlies choose to double and allow Brooks to fight over. However, this double coverage as Steph is dancing around makes the weak side fall asleep here, as no one picks up a backdooring GP2, who gets an easy layup with the Grizzlies shouting at each other for this defensive collapse. I want to talk about some Golden State defensive tactics as well. Memphis wanted to get the switch with Clay on Ja for some reason, even though a weaker defender in Steph and Curry is on the court. ISO on Clay and tries to go to his weak left, and Clay does a great job contesting without fouling. This will be a theme for the closing defensive play of the game. And for the game-winning out-of-bounds play, Golden State runs a box play with Curry cutting first to the strong side, grabbing the attention of Wiggins' man in Jackson Jr. Gary Payton II comes and sets a second screen on Jackson, freeing Wiggins to completely set a final solid screen to have Clay curl towards his left. Desmond Bane is now completely trailing, and Thompson uses a genius pump fake to get him in the air, resets to the left, and buries the 3. Memphis really should come up with something other than one-on-one with John Morant handling the ball in crunch time. This time they do get a switch they want onto Steph, but Morant has become so predictable going to his left that Curry gets a clean strip, leading to a huge turnover. After Clay misses 2 free throws that could have put him up by 3, Memphis runs a last-second out-of-bounds play with Clark getting an inbounds and Ja running past GP2 with a full sprint. This is what I think separates contenders from champions in my opinion, as Clay reads fully well and sees the back pass to immediately double Morant as he's once again going to his left. Tries to scoop the layup with a tough contest, and the Warriors escape with a Game 1 victory. Well, there you have it, guys. That was the most intense Golden State playoff game of the year so far, in my opinion, despite the controversial ejection of a soft flagrant 2 foul on Draymond Green. The Warriors were able to erase the deficit and close out the game due to clutch shooting and major defensive plays. Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson both had relatively mediocre games, but Jordan Poole was a microwave in the first half, and Gary Payton II and Porter Jr. were able to replace the role of Draymond Green and find offensive rebounds and off-ball opportunities. Stealing Game 1 was huge for the Warriors, as now they have home court advantage and look to take another one in Memphis. If you like this breakdown, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another battle in Game 2.